Anyways,
Yeah.
Okay.
speaking of jailing and such, I'm referencing to the first season, of course, of Andor. Um, let's move on to
One
Andor.
way out. All I gotta say.
So where do you want to start with that, Trey?
Okay. So I would like to talk about season 1 for a little bit. Okay, I am starting to run out of a little time here. I think the latest I can go is probably 11:30 my time. Just saying.
That leaves us an hour. Let's roll.
Got to go back a little bit. Disney era Star Wars. It has been a controversial period to say the least. However, there is one project in those movies, there's one film that everybody seems to agree was great, and that is Rogue One, the Star Wars story.
Absolutely.
That movie was directed by the guy who I think his name's Gareth Edwards. There's a bunch of other people who were involved in the writing and production of it. But the man who supervised the reshoots in the final act and the rewrites of that film was a guy, I believe his name is Tony Gilroy. And he is the one who is the creator and showrunner of Andor. Now, this guy has had a long career, lots of movies, lots of theater. He does a lot of Oscar bait. I think his main big thing before all this was he directed Michael Clayton, I think, George Clooney Oscar bait flick.
Yeah.
Now, my favorite little bit of trivia about this man is that before he started working on Rogue One, he didn't like Star Wars at all. He was not a fan. And it was as he started working on this is when he actually began to fall in love with the franchise. That's why that final act is just so viscerally different from anything else in the franchise. Because it was coming from a guy who wasn't looking at it as a Star Wars movie, he was looking at it as a Battle of Britain Dunkirk movie.
Gotcha.
And then he starts doing Andor, which is, again, fundamentally different from anything else Star Wars has ever done. It really does drive home the tyranny factor of everything. And it also reminds you that the people who start up rebellions, engage in guerrilla warfare, are kind of fucking bastards. They're not good people. Andor is a terrible human being who does all kinds of bad shit for, his own greed and all other kinds of stuff. The guy played by Stellan Skarsgård, he's a monster, but he's the monster we need in this universe. The prison arc is probably easily one of the most compelling things that has ever been put to film in a science fiction universe.
Woo!
Andy Serkis is just so good in that.
Amazing.
The bureaucracy is such an apt representation of any kind of bureaucratic organization in really any major government, especially a fascist regime, though. Am I speaking from experience? We're not talking about that. And
that's controversial.
That's controversial. And the first season is just overall an amazing experience. I have not watched season 2 yet, but I've heard nothing but good things about it. Everyone is saying that it's just as good, if not better.
Okay.
And that's what I got.
Now here's my take.
Okay.
Everything he said about Rogue One, absolutely correct. Got to be in everybody's top 3 at some point. If it's not in your top 5, you're smoking crack, and your opinion is invalid. You're invalid if it's not top 5. Okay.
Your subjective opinion is objectively wrong.
Yeah, exactly.
God, I heard it like 4 times today.
Yeah,
You've heard twice from me so far.
Well, you're about to hear it a 3rd time. Listen,
if
if Rogue One is not in your top 5 Star Wars movie, then your subjective opinion is objectively wrong. Anyway,
there's 3 times.
Let's get the floor, man.
Now, Andor season 1. Everything you said about that, absolutely correct. If that's not your favorite Star Wars show, your subjective opinion is objectively wrong.
There you go. That's 4.
10 out of 10. Andy Serkis, masterful. The prison arc, probably, man, one of the best things I've ever seen.
Something about the man when he is on camera and not doing a freaking motion capture character, he's just putting everything into it because he doesn't know when he's going to do it again, I think.
Yeah. And I think that's the thing is like these people, like you said, Gilroy or whatever, they're putting it all out there. And
you look it up.
The thing I like about this show is it has a lot of arcs where it shows worlds of the Star Wars universe that are not caught up in the big hoopla, where they're really showing that this universe is more than just those, big screen. It's showing the depth of the universe and all of the wheeling parts behind it all.
It's Tony Gilroy. I was right. Go on, sorry.
Tony Gilroy. And that's the best part about it now. Season 2. Very, very good. Not just as good as season 1. I found a few things.
Okay.
They're not huge gripes, but they are. First and foremost, my biggest thing was there was a couple time jumps here, and they were not done well.
I think I know what that was. From what I understand, I could be wrong about this, but it was supposed to be, I think, 5 seasons long. I could be wrong about that. And that's why there were these. But then the first season did not. The first season, its numbers were not that great, apparently, and so they had to condense everything into one season.
That could be it because there can't be more than one more season after this.
No, it's done. This is the last season.
Okay, yeah,
done.
Yeah.
Done.
Oh, yeah, actually, yeah, it can't be anymore because spoiler alert, at the end, he's got the droid. It's so, but that makes sense if they brought it 4 seasons to 1 because the time jumps were not seamless. Mm-hmm. They were very jarring to me, and took me way out of the show for a while, for like half of an episode each time. Okay. So it went from a 10 to an 8, just with that.
Okay. That's fair.
There were a couple other small things, but really that's the big one where I'm going to take a rating off of it. The other things were just like, okay, if that wasn't there, it still probably could be a 9 or a 10, Mm-hmm. I just would have done them differently with the writing. Okay. But that's the one where I'm like, no,
okay.
Can't do it. But like you said, if there's a legitimate reason for it, I guess I'll give it a pass.
I'm also pretty sure that this was also another thing that had to have some extensive reshoots and rewrites done on it, and some reworkings in pre-production and post-production.
You can tell.
Apparently, this thing cost over $600 million to make this whole season.
I heard that everything's practical set, so that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Which is one of its strong suits. Again, just like season 1, practical sets. Very dense, realities, show you all the people and what's really going on. Great writing. But again, there's just, other than that time jump, there's just a couple things where it's like, that's not seamless. That's not
structuring problems. I got you.
Yeah, structuring issues are the biggest part about it, but definitely takes it from a 10 to an 8 at least. But very good. Really very good. Okay. It still has everything you love about the first season in it. So I would definitely say go see both seasons ASAP.
Okay. Yeah, I gotta check them out. I'm actually starting from scratch with the Star Wars. Right now I'm on episode 3. I just watched episode 1 and 2. Yeah, and
okay. It's good.
Yeah, I'll tell you, it was really hard to watch those first 2. But mostly because I feel like the time it was made too had a little bit to do with it. Like, just the quality of the movie probably was just, we're so far advanced now. It's just like going back and watching this kind of like, oh, okay.
That was the era where CGI was like this new revolutionary thing, and everybody was obsessed with overdoing it and making it like 90% CGI, but it was like just not good enough to do it at that level yet.
Well, now it's not, right? Like back then it was so cool to see, but now we're so far advanced.
It's like it's so jarring, and it's
like playing a PlayStation 2 game. Now it's like
and you're like, I could have done without that. That's an example of using the gimmick. It's like, well, you could have spent more time on writing shit better than giving me this fucking CGI scene. Sure. But again, that's the issue of big screen movies. Yeah. Where Andor and Rogue One, they didn't put that stock in it.
Yeah.
So they were able to really do something with it.
Yeah.
So again, passion over gimmick
Mhm.
is the way to go, and we can see it in everything. And that's a perfect example. Go ahead.
No, yeah, no, and so I gotta go see Rogue One. I haven't seen the. Yeah, I'm really, I know, like I said, it's gonna be a, it's gonna be a
You're
mark
watching
on
them
my.
in chronological, huh?
Yeah, I'm trying. Yeah, so I seen the original. I seen the original 3. Those are goated. Those are goated. I love those. Saw them when I was a kid. Saw them like 20 times each.
Real quick, everybody, you got 5 seconds. Shoot, rank the original trilogy in order. Go, Trey. What do you got?
Wait, the original trilogy?
Really, original only. Quick,
Okay.
quick.
Empire, New Hope, Jedi.
Yeah,
Quick.
yeah. No, I gotta agree.
The same.
I mean, yeah, I really can't. Yeah, I really can't disagree.
All right, I'm gonna have to tell you, it's gonna be Jedi, Empire, New Hope for me.
Okay.
I could. Yeah, I mean, you can't. I don't know. I like them all.
That's how
They're
good
all
they
really
are.
good. Yeah, I seriously, I've watched all those movies like 20 times each. Like when I was a kid, though, and then I kind of fell off. Like I watched episode 1 when it came out in the theaters, and it didn't hit here for me, and I didn't see 2 or 3 or nothing. So yeah, I'm just kind of starting over with a fresh mind on it and just taking it for what it is. I even want to watch the animated series too. I heard that's all.
Clone Wars is really
Those are
good.
good. Clone Wars and Rebels are both pretty solid.
Yeah.
Bad Batch is okay as well.
Okay.
Let me tell you what, Revenge of the Sith is one of the best Star Wars games you'll ever play.
I do have fond memories of playing that on a PlayStation 2 many years ago.
Actually, I'm
God,
literally
20 years
thinking
ago.
next
Man.
May, for May the 4th, I'm gonna probably on May the 4th in Revenge of the 5th. So May 4th and 5th next year, I'm gonna stream that game. I'm gonna
Hell yeah.
blow through that game. Yeah.
Nice.
And it's co-op too, so you can play with another person and play as both Anakin and Obi-Wan. So
Oh, there you go. So yeah, I'll jump on that.
you're
Right now, Return of Wildlands.
There is also another game that's out called Star Wars Jedi Episode 1 Jedi Power Battles. That was an old PlayStation 1 game. I recently got that. That is one I'd love to play through with somebody because that one takes me back.
you got it on the PlayStation?
Nice.
No, I got it on my PC. They did a remaster of it.
I don't got a PC.
Okay.
Yeah, PC games is on my list because I know those are like OP compared to everything else.
You know what? We're not going to mention it this podcast, but I'm going to put it on the next podcast. Ready or Not is coming to PlayStation from PC. So anyway, we're going to talk about that. But yeah, so let's talk about Invincible. Speaking of animated series,
who wants to go first? Because if you let me talk, I will not shut up.
Kelly, where are you at with that show?